Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you about handling objections, and I want to cover the one thing, the most important thing that you need to implement before you can go into all the tactics and details and the different ways to handle objections and close deals. The first and foremost thing, the most important thing that you have to know and that you have to implement into your sales process so that you can handle any objections, you can handle any stalls that are thrown at you. And if you can just implement this one thing, you can have a lot more success in closing more deals, handling any type of objection, dealing with any type of prospect, whether they're a cold prospect, warm prospect, hot lead, whatever it might be. In any scenario, this is one thing that I guarantee you, from 10 plus years of personal experience and training hundreds and hundreds of sales professionals in 7 plus different industries, I guarantee you this one thing is one of the primary foundations you need to have, and it's going to help you every single time in every single scenario. Okay, so chances are you've heard all the technical stuff you have to do to handle objections and stalls and what you should be doing in a sales scenario. You've probably heard a million different tactics and whatnot. And some of those might be legitimate and they might work for you, and that's amazing. Others may not be so legitimate and may not work for you at all. And maybe you've disregarded them. Whatever the case might be, I want to give you the first thing that needs to be in place before you can handle any kind of sales objections, and that is a solution-oriented attitude. Now notice I did not say a positive attitude or positive thinking or a great attitude or a smile. All those things are great, and as a human being, let alone a sales professional or entrepreneur, you should be doing those things regardless. You should have a great attitude regardless. You should be optimistic long-term regardless. You should be smiling regardless. You should be treating people well regardless. So I'm not going to pinpoint any of these things and treat you like you're a child or somebody who doesn't know those things are fundamentals to communication regardless. What I said was a solution-oriented attitude, and that ties in directly with your sales process. So what that means is every single sales interaction you're going into, when your prospects are throwing objections and stalls and concerns at you about getting the deal done and moving forward with your product or service, your attitude is going to be one of solutions. So you're taking full responsibility for closing this deal. You're taking full responsibility for making it make sense to your prospect so they can pull the trigger right then and there. You're taking responsibility for providing a solution to every single thing or every single scenario that comes up in that interaction. So when you have a constant solution-oriented attitude, you only spend 1% of the time on the problems and the issues and challenges and barriers to that deal getting done, and you immediately shift to the 99% of your focus, which is on the solutions. So when you're getting an objection, when you're getting stalls, when your prospects are communicating their concerns to you, you need to be constantly looking at everything through the lens of a solution-oriented attitude. And so when you take this approach to sales and when you take this approach to really objection handling, you tend to see solutions in every single opportunity. You tend to see objections and concerns your prospects have as an opportunity to actually sell them more on that product or that service or the features that they had a concern around. You actually look at every single scenario that comes at you as an opportunity to handle that situation, to get your prospect more sold on you, more sold on your product, on your service, on your company, more sold on your industry standards, more sold on whatever they need to be more sold on for this deal to get done and for all parties to benefit. Now, I go a lot deeper on this concept in my Sales Training University platform and my courses and programs, but the reality is, in this multi-part sales process and multiple steps to everything that we do in sales and in negotiations and in closing deals, this is just one of the moving pieces. But if you can understand this piece and you can start to implement it in your day-to-day sales interactions, your communications with your prospects, in your business, if you're the entrepreneur, if you can teach this to your managers, to your executives, to your salespeople, it's going to go a long way. This in itself, if executed on, if implemented into your business, can change everything for you. So again, the foundation, the fundamental principle behind handling objections. Forget all the tactics, forget everything that you've been taught, forget everything that people talk about. That's great. There's a lot of different ways and a lot of different, strategies, a lot of different one-liners, a lot of different word tracks you can use to handle objections, and that's all good. But if you don't have the fundamental underlying attitude, which is a solution-oriented attitude at all times, you're not going to get the results. I can guarantee you that. I've seen many sales professionals and entrepreneurs repeat word for word things that I've said or things that other great closers have said over the years, and they didn't get the same results. And that was because the mindset and the attitude and the solution-oriented perspective wasn't there. So when they were hit with concerns or objections or stalls or things that would potentially stop that deal from happening, they didn't know how to actually overcome that. And again, the fundamental relationship between you and the prospect wasn't built because you weren't approaching it from that fundamentally solution-oriented place. So again, to sum it all up for you, very simply put, the number one thing that goes into handling objections and stalls and your prospect's concerns over your product or service, and the easiest way to handle all objections and to close more deals and get more done and smash your targets, is to have a solution-oriented attitude at all times in every single interaction that you're in, every single time. So I hope that was valuable to you, and I would encourage you to start to implement this and actually gauge it. I want you to start looking at your day-to-day, looking at your interactions with your prospects moving forward and looking at it from this point of view and gauging yourself on whether you're being solution-oriented or not when you're handling objections, when you're answering questions, in even the simplest ways possible in your day-to-day. I want you to start to gauge yourself on whether or not you're being solution-oriented. All right, guys, that's all I wanted to share in this video here, and that's the message I wanted to get across. As always, smash that like button as many times as you can. Comment your thoughts below. I would love to answer any more questions that you have. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And on that note, I'll see you in the next video.